Hey everyone, so I am finally doing the walkthrough of the Threads of Fate Oracle Shadow Edition. I've had this deck for a while, and if you follow me on Instagram, then you've seen me do a few readings with these, or a few card pulls for some people. So I know a few of you have asked for a more slowed down, more involved walkthrough. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do that for you guys. So this is the box that it comes in. It is a really good box. On the back you have a few samples of the cards, some more information on the deck, the website. I like when boxes have these little notches that it pulls out real easily. And this gilding on the front is really pretty. It stood up to quite a bit of travel and just being tossed in my bag, and yeah, it's been still looking pretty good. So when we open up the deck, we have our guidebook. So let's go through that. I am gonna go with this for now. So the guidebook is quite small, as you can see. It's a really good book that you can just slide into your bag. It travels real easily. I just keep it right in the box with the cards. And you can see this gilding, or I guess I'll just call it gilding for the remainder of the video. You can see the gilding here. And you'll see that all throughout all of the cards. Let's get this open. The pages are glossy, they don't seem too fragile. So the index is alphabetical. It's broken up by the name of the card, the page number if that, and the element or association. We go on to the information about the deck. I will go into that a little later. So if you're a beginner, this is your very first deck ever. There's some information about how to handle that, some tips about using these cards with your rituals, storing and cleaning, and then it goes into some spread samples. So this one is mapping out your internal landscape. This is mirror work, which are very indicative of the deck. Inquiry, define the situations. There are only 4. I know some decks come with a lot more, but especially with oracle cards, doing spreads I've noticed aren't really the popular or mainstream thing to do. So having 4 spreads for an oracle deck, I think is really cool. It gives you ideas on how to use the deck and to test things out. So the book is broken up by the elements, and then it will give you information about them. So this is earth, this is air, and what's cool about that is there are associations with both direction, season, stagnation, like whether it's active or passive, and then meanings like mental, inspiration, stiffness, opening. Here's fire, water, and ether. So I'm going to put this away and get to the deck. Okay, so here is the deck. You notice this beautiful gold gilding. Here's the back. You can kind of see the motifs pulled through from the deck box to the actual deck, and you can again see all of that gilding in the book, the deck, and the deck box. So all of the cards are similar in the sense that they have a gold border, the names are at the bottom, and then it will have some image. And what I could say about the cards is that it's a very good card stock. I will say that they've kind of broken in a little in a good way. So when I first got them, they were really stiff, and I'm a rifle shuffler, so this deck took more breaking in than a lot of my other decks. So on top of having very thick cardstock, the texture is almost velveteen. I don't know how to explain this. It has a I don't know how to explain it other than sort of velveteenish feeling. If you have this deck and you know what that feeling is, comment below, let me know, give me some ideas on how to describe this. So let me just show you a little bend test. So it has a nice little flick, and these cards are quite large. What's funny is the guidebook and the cards, they are the same size, which is large for a card but small for a guidebook. So I just thought that was kind of funny. So I'm going to break this deck up and then go over a few more details about it. Okay, so here is the deck broken up into its 4 suits and the 5th one, really. And a little bit more about this deck. This deck was made to establish a deeper relationship with yourself, with your intuition, with your guide spirits, anything that you use, whether you do deity work or not, working with your ancestors. So this is going to help you get into a more intuitive and more clear state with that. So overall, the deck is 55 cards total, and that is broken up into the elemental cards and the ether cards. So the elemental cards are earth, air, fire, and water. And I'm sure this sounds very familiar if you are familiar with Rider-Waite, very similar to the major arcana versus the pentacles, the swords, wands, and the cups. So you'll start to notice a little bit of familiarity in that sense, but when you're just looking at the cards, there's really nothing about them that tells you which element they are. So you can tell the difference between the elemental cards versus the ether cards, because the elemental cards will all have a crystal association, an herb association, and a animal association. So if you look at these, you can see this dog here, you can see the snake, the bat, and the leopard, versus you see this top card here is just the shape. So let's go through the earth cards first. We see that earth is relative to stability, body, resources, shadow, and I'm sure this all sounds very familiar to Rider-Waite. Earth is all about stillness, and it's associated with the north and with winter. So let's just do a quick flip through. Ask body, patience, withdraw, get wild, strength, boundaries, release, and nature. You can see that some of the cards I feel like are very obviously earth, like nature and strength here. It looks like a tree, but it's actually a leaf with roots running through it. But then there are cards like Get Wild that would initially make me think of fire, but let's go on to air. So air, as you can see, is associated with the mental thought, inspiration, swiftness, opening, and movement. And it's associated with the east and spring. So we have shadow, speak truth. And what's cool is this sword here is in the air category. Similar. It's like an homage to the Rider-Waite. Share wisdom. Higher perspective. Transmute. I really love this card. Versatility. The colors in this are beautiful. I love all of the cards that have a reference to the moon in them. Soul work. So this was actually one of my favorite cards. This was the card that sort of made me decide to buy it. Which is funny because if you know me, I am not into bugs. I don't really like bugs at all. And something about this bee just drew me to it. I don't know if it's the shapes or the color tones in this card, but I love it. And the final one is Dare to Dream. And again, I love these alien-looking moons, these beautiful colors. Alright, moving on to fire. We have transformation, action, cleansing, quickness, power. And this is associated with the south and the summer. Movement, which makes sense. You see the snake slithering through. Power, and there's your wand, another homage to the Rider-Waite. Manifest. Get curious. Take risks. I like that this card is like a billy goat. Because if you ever watch the shows about goats, you know that they will scale mountains and it looks so treacherous. It looks like they shouldn't be able to do it. So I like that this is take risks. Sacred sexuality. Destruction. And reclaim. Alright. Our last one here is water, so let's do it. So water is associated with west and autumn, and it covers your intuition, your subconscious, your mystery, receptive, and fluidity. So connect to heart, compassion, that's very appropriate. The Gilded Dolphins for play. Such a simple card, but very beautiful. Surrender. Self-love. Everyone should think of themselves as a peacock. Trust. So that is it for the elementals. So I'm going to go ahead and get on to the ether cards. Alright, so the ether cards are archetypes, unseen, infinite, self, spirit, analysis, internal landscape. So this is going to be all of the cards that cover your persona, your archetypes as it says here. It'll offer actions, and it covers your shadow or your subconscious. Let's go through. So I've come to really love this void card. When I first started using the deck, I would get this a lot, and it's just about embracing the void and not being scared of it, and what the void could be something different for everyone, but for the most part, a void can be either loneliness or emptiness, and just being afraid to embrace that. And I think in the time of COVID, with everybody sort of secluded, not being able to travel and see their loved ones, especially around this time of year, this card is even more important. So I'm happy that this was the first one to show up. On top of that, me being an engineering brain, I love the symmetry of this. I think that's perfect, because when people think of voids, oftentimes, or maybe this is just me, but I think of almost like black holes. So I'm glad that it's a diamond instead of a circle. Ancestors. Again, this is showing that connectivity between your spirits and your ancestors. Paradox. The sovereign. The warrior. So even though the elemental cards are the ones that really focus on animals, you can still see there are animal motifs throughout the ether cards. Outlaw. Ascension. Oh, I really love this card. It's just very spacey looking and just ethereal. The universe. The creator. What I like about this card is it's not really religious. It's showing you that the creator can be anyone, anything, right? So in my mind, when I see this, I picture myself as the creator. Like I'm creating my whatever my passions are, or my hobbies, my shop. You know, I'm in control of creating these things. I'm manifesting the things that I want to manifest. The pillar. So this has become another favorite, and it isn't necessarily the meaning, although it's similar to if you think of the High Priestess in Rider-Waite, because of the pillars and all of that. But other than it meaning strength and standing tall, I just think the beauty of the card, something about it, and I don't know if this will come across in camera, but it's like you're staring into a portal. So just staring through this, there's such depth in the color of the card and the printing, and it's a physical thing more so than a meaningful thing to me. But yeah, this is one of my favorites. Fate. The Maggie. So think of this as the meanings are different, but it makes me think of a magician. The alchemist. The weaver. So this reminds me of the wheel in tarot. The explorer. The sage. The observer. I love that the observer is actually a crystal ball. I think that's clever. The seeker. The wildling. Everybody's favorite, the death card. Revolutionary. The underworld. So this is a great card to end on because I absolutely love this deck. The motifs are beautiful. I will say, so the only con, I guess this is going to be very personal to everybody, but I find it a little hard to intuitively pick up on some of the meanings of the cards. But, you know, some decks will just take a little longer for you to learn and to remember the meanings, to connect with the meanings. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching my very first thorough deck walkthrough. I hope you really like this. I love this deck. I will say one of the cons for me personally is that the meanings of the cards are less intuitive for me. But that's part of my journey. I've been working on trying to build my intuition, and I think this is the perfect deck to do it, because even though some of the cards aren't intuitive to me, I relate very well to this deck. I've connected very well to this deck. So I think that with some time and practice, which is fun for me, it'll become more intuitive. I'll have more of a relationship with the meanings of each of the cards. So that being said, I plan to do a deck interview with this deck, which I've never done. I've never done a deck interview with an Oracle deck before. So if you are curious about that, if you want to see the deck interview, comment below, let me know. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe, either here on YouTube or on Instagram, so that way you're up to date with anything that's coming out. And stay tuned, because I will be showing off my new Witch's Moon deck for the month of December. So everybody have a good day. If you have this deck, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you have the same feelings as me about connecting with the deck? Let me know what you think. All right, thank you guys. Bye.